reasonably priced, and it was available.
Tonight, hotels as homes, more on the dwindling stock of single-room occupancy hotels coming up. Your local news starts now.
This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Thank you for joining us. Concern is growing among advocates over the loss of residential hotels in Winnipeg. The sale and closure of the Windsor Hotel downtown is the latest to leave tenants displaced, but it likely won't be the last. And as Josh Crabb reports, while spaces that remain may not be perfect, they do give people a home.
Angela Tates uses a can of spray to freshen up the air in her small, cluttered room in the McLaren Hotel on Winnipeg's Main Street. She moved in 10 years ago. Before that, she was unsheltered.
I lived by the river this summer. Yeah, it was really hard to get a reasonable place to live.
She's among 150 people who live here and hundreds of people across the city who advocates say rely on single-room occupancy hotels as places to live. There is a $12 million plan to retrofit the 7-story building to improve living conditions without evicting current residents.
People who live in this building right now don't have anywhere to cook. Under the retrofit, there will be a congregate kitchen here in the hallway of every second floor.
While several residential hotels still exist in the city, University of Winnipeg urban geography professor Gino DeStasio says others are gone for good.
Probably over the last 2 decades, we've lost upwards of a dozen hotels in our downtown, and that's been to demolition, to fire, and also to conversion.
One person still lives in the Cambridge Hotel on Pembina Highway, which has 11 units no longer available for rent, according to the general manager, due to a pending demolition. In 2020, the St. Regis Hotel was demolished after being sold. Earlier this year, the Windsor Hotel was sold and closed under a provincial health order. Tate says the place could use some paint, but other than that, she's satisfied.
I keep my room messy and no one complains, right? So that's all I care about.
She plans to stay as long as she can, but hopes to one day move into a retirement home. Josh Crabb, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A private foundation named for one of Manitoba's most generous philanthropists will help improve cancer care in Brandon. The Paul Albertson Foundation is covering $3.5 million of the cost of expanding the Western Manitoba Cancer Centre. The total for that expansion is estimated at $26 million.
It is difficult to put into words how meaningful and impactful this gift is. It will change the cancer experience for Manitobans and their families for many, many years to come.
Albertson was a mechanic who earned his fortune in the transportation industry. He died in 2019. MKO, which represents Manitoba's northern chiefs, is sending mental health resources to Thompson. A mobile crisis response team and the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls Liaison Unit will be in the northern city to help the family of a 15-year-old girl. The teen's body was found yesterday morning in the dog park off of Baffin Crescent. She had been reported missing to the RCMP just hours earlier. MKO says plans are underway to organize a vigil in Thompson for the girl. Winnipeg police have released new video and images of a suspect in an assault earlier this month. The attack happened near the Kennedy Street entrance of the Law Courts building on March the 17th. A 20-year-old woman was assaulted. Now, if you know anything about the person that is shown in this video, you're asked to contact police. RCMP are looking for a missing teenager tonight from the Selkirk area who hasn't been seen for almost a week now. 15-year-old Courtney Beardy was last seen at school last Friday. RCMP says she may be in the company of a 26-year-old man. There have been recent sightings of the two near the Tim Hortons and McDonald's restaurants in Selkirk. If you have seen Courtney Beardy, you're asked to contact police. Steinbach's population is growing. So too, though, is the number of people who are looking for a family doctor. The CBC's Ian Fraser reports on Steinbach's physician prognosis.
Samantha Farrell can grab an iced coffee any day she wants in Steinbach.
Thank you.
But what she can't get is a family doctor. Emails from the provincial doctor finder are always disappointing.
As soon as I see, unfortunately, I stop reading because I know.
The Regional Health Authority says 3,500 people in the Steinbach area want a doctor, and the city is short about 10 physicians. In fact, this month, one small clinic closed for good. Since losing her family doctor in 2020, Farrell only gets medical care if she cannot wait anymore. She's been to the ER 3 times.
I shouldn't have had to go to the ER for a ruptured cyst. It never should have happened. And here now I'm a stress on the ER department that has a waiting room full of people. And all they can do for me is book me for an ultrasound later and give me some painkillers and send me home.
Her options are limited. A walk-in clinic would book the test she needs, but it's in Winnipeg. Farrell doesn't drive and there's no bus. Ashley Desonier wants a close relationship with her doctor again.
I did have that rapport with my other doctor, but she just didn't have the time.
It was 2 years ago, and Desonier couldn't wait 6 weeks for an appointment. She now goes to Winnipeg. Those trips to see a different doctor for her Lyme disease are taking its toll.
We're spending, $50 in fuel and a full day in Winnipeg just to get a prescription refilled or to see a doctor for 15 minutes.
People here hope more doctors think their community's well-being is worth the trip. Ian Fraze, CBC News, Steinbach, Manitoba.
Well, the Winnipeg Ice are getting ready to kick off their playoff run. The Medicine Hat Tigers visit Winnipeg on Friday for the start of round 1 of the WHL playoffs. The Ice enter the postseason as favorites, posting new franchise records for wins and points.
They're a younger team than us. They skate real well. So, at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to maybe our depth and just how well we play with the depth that we have in our lineup.
Puck drop on Friday is at 7 p.m. Let's take a look at downtown Winnipeg right now. We're expecting slightly warmer conditions for the rest of this week. Meteorologist John Sauder is in next with his forecast.
This weather update is brought to you by Capital Ford Lincoln. The trade and upgrade event is on now.
Remember the movie Groundhog Day when the weather and the conditions just kept repeating themselves? Well, that's kind of what this is like. Although the wind was a little bit stronger today. We did get to -4, but these southwest winds were making it feel cooler, up around 40 to 45 kilometers per hour at times. And as we go through Futurecast, you can see a little bit more snow in the north, a little bit more cloud on Thursday across the south. But then we're right back into sunshine on Friday. Really what we're seeing is high pressure dominating the prairies with a few weak low pressure systems moving out of the Arctic, moving into northern parts of the prairies. Now today winds were strong out of the southwest, about 30 to 40 at times. And those are the winds at 4:30, starting to settle down a little bit. We move into Thursday and winds are going to be much, much lighter and the temperature continues to warm up. Just a little bit. So not as cold as last night. We're looking at forecast temperatures on Thursday in the afternoon at about -2, -3, and that's after overnight temperatures will be right around that -14 mark. You look at the long-range forecast and we stay on the cool side of normal as we head through into the weekend, and we come out of the weekend with some messy weather, 3 to 5 centimeters of wet snow possible at +2 on Sunday.
All right, thank you, John. That is your late news on this Wednesday. Thank you for being with us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.